Now on CoastTV News.
Iran's supreme leader dead, the latest on the U.S. and Israeli strikes in the Middle East. Polar Bear Plunge events backpacked the boardwalk. Organizers share the success despite rescheduling.
We melted a lot of snow today thanks to sunshine and milder temperatures, but then a brief return to winter starting as soon as tomorrow, and then a really big warm up as we go through next week. Forecast details coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Smoke filling the air in Iran as the U.S. and Israel strike to dismantle the country's nuclear program and force a regime change. Good evening, I'm Emma Aiken. Welcome to CoastTV News at 6. We begin tonight with breaking news as President Trump has confirmed Iran's supreme leader has been killed. After the U.S. and Israel launched a major attack on Iran this morning, Israeli officials say Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying earlier in a nationally televised address, quote, "There are growing signs that the tyrant is no longer alive," unquote. President Trump later confirming that news, though Iran has not commented on Khamenei's status. Iran has launched retaliatory attacks targeting U.S. facilities in nearby countries. Right now, Americans in the Middle East are being told to shelter in place. This is just the first wave of what is expected to be multiple attacks. Iranian state media says more than 200 people were killed today and hundreds more were injured. Jen Sullivan has details.
Smoke filling the air in Iran's capital of Tehran Saturday. On the ground, flames and people screaming. This is the aftermath of a massive and coordinated missile attack launched by the U.S. and Israel in a move designed to cripple the country's nuclear program and overturn the government.
They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore.
One of the targets was the compound of Iran's supreme leader. Israeli sources now reporting he was killed.
The aim is to put an end to the threat of Iran regime.
Trump issuing this stern warning to the country's military and police.
Lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death.
In response, Iran launching a wave of retaliatory strikes on U.S. and Israel targets across the Middle East, including a U.S. military base in Bahrain, seen under a plume of smoke in this video.
We are actually attacking the American bases in the act of self-defense.
The attack sparking a slew of reaction from key U.S. allies. The Prime Minister of Canada supporting the U.S. and Israel, calling Iran the principal source of instability and terror throughout the Middle East. Others more critical. The President of France calling it dangerous for all. EU Commission Ursula von der Leyen saying she's going to hold security meetings Monday. Some Democrats also condemning the actions, saying Trump did not get congressional approval beforehand.
I wouldn't hesitate to use the American military to protect Americans and our interests, but I just don't see at all how this is what Americans want.
And Democratic leaders saying Congress should return to session immediately and vote on war powers resolutions. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Leaders across Delmarva are responding. Delaware Representative Sarah McBride putting out a statement today saying in part, quote, "This president's shoot first, ask questions later foreign policy inevitably leads to one place in the end, death, destruction, and destabilization," unquote. And Maryland's Senator Chris Van Hollen releasing a statement on X saying in part, quote, "Trump is lying to the American people as he launches an illegal regime change war against Iran. This is endangering American lives and has already resulted in mass civilian casualties," unquote. And we do have much more on all of this, including more thoughts from our local leaders right now on CoastTV.com. We are now taking a live look outside. Pretty sunset there into Milford. Our First Alert meteorologist Bob Try, he joins us now. Bob, it was a beautiful day out there.
Oh boy, Emma, good evening to you. And it was a gorgeous end to the month of February. 60s is where we topped out at well inland and 40s at the coast. And right now still mild. Seaford 59, but 50 in Georgetown. The closer you get to the coast, the colder it is. You're only stuck in the low 40s from Bethany Beach to Rehoboth right now, as you've had an onshore wind during the day, a little bit more in the way of offshore wind farther inland. Now, as we go through the evening hours, we're looking at clear skies. If you look to the east, you see some high clouds off the coast. That's because of low pressure off of North Carolina. That's going to miss us, but we're watching a cold front that will bring that wintry weather back to Delmarva tomorrow. And for this evening, we're falling from the 50s into the 40s. Here's Futurecast at 9. We're in the 40s. And then tomorrow morning, as temperatures get close to freezing, watch for some slick spots on some of those sidewalks. Then that cold front will move through, maybe with a few showers. Otherwise, we're looking quiet this evening, calm and colder. Maybe a little bit of rain Tuesday, and then a really big warm up. I'll have much more on that coming up a little bit later on.
New tonight, Delaware State Police are investigating a deadly car crash early this morning. Troopers say just after 2:25 a.m., a pickup truck was heading west on Laurel Road near Curley Road. It's the area you see on your screen, when the driver failed to navigate a slight curve. Police say the pickup went off the road into a deep ditch, hit a tree, and flipped onto its roof. According to troopers, the 26-year-old Laurel man behind the wheel was not wearing a seatbelt and was pronounced dead at the scene. His name has not yet been released as family is being notified. What some neighbors thought were explosions this morning turned out to be sonic booms, according to the Seaford Police Department. Seaford first responders were first sent to Stony Branch Road just after 10 a.m., then to the area of Herring Run Road and Mears Drive about 30 minutes later after reports of loud blasts. But Delaware State Police say troopers checked it out and found nothing. Sussex Emergency Management says fire units also investigated with no signs of an explosion. Seaford Police later posted that several jets flying overhead caused sonic booms, which likely sparked those calls. A packed boardwalk as Polar Plunge events are continuing in Rehoboth Beach despite the actual Polar Plunge and 5K race being canceled this weekend. A fire and ice event at the Atlantic Sands Hotel saw both chicken wing and ice cream tasting. And across the beach city, 15 restaurants such as Downtown Bethany Blues participated in a chili competition. CoastTV spoke with organizers who say despite this cancellation, Special Olympics Delaware still raised over $1 million.
That's what this is all about. It's for our athletes, to celebrate our athletes, to raise money for our athletes so they can compete in sports completely free of charge year-round.
Obviously bummed that the Polar Plunge not happening and the 5K didn't happen today, but people are still in town. Parking spots are hard to find, and we're still jamming.
Seymour says over 900 bears checked in Friday night. And this brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, what does canceling the plunge mean for winter in Rehoboth? Let's take a look at the updated results. So far, 72% of people say safer weekend, 20% say slower season, and 8% say needed break. And if you haven't voted yet, or if you want to leave a comment, you still can at coasttv.com or on the mobile app. And we are just getting started here on Coast TV News at 6. Coming up later, Delaware State Parks, how much more it's now going to cost you to visit.
We saw highs in the 60s well inland today with 40s at the coast, 57 in Georgetown above the normal of 50 with a low of 26. It's a brief return to winter, some showers on Tuesday, and then much warmer 60s and 70s as we head towards next weekend. Details coming up.
But first, a stitching event celebrating the 250th anniversary of America in Lewis. Why organizers say this one was special. We'll be right back.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
The Daughters of the American Revolution held a stitching event today at the Mall House in the Lewis community. Members were invited to help sew together a panel that will be presented at a nationwide exhibit honoring the original 13 colonies. City of Lewis representatives showed up to leave their mark on history in the first town in the first state.
And we wanted to have people experience the history of stitching on this panel in this historic location. The panel's traveling all over the state, and people all over are putting stitches in.
For us to stitch together and just talk about and learn the history of the 13 colonies, tapestries that are coming together. So it's just part of history, and it was nice to be a part of that as well.
Kelly says the next event will be a presentation from Jeffrey Rosen on his book, The Pursuit of Liberty, on March 28th. And coming up next, Bob Trihey is in the CoastTV First Alert Weather Center. He's saying a brief return to wintry weather, then a bigger warm-up next week. He has your full forecast after this.
What a way to end the month of February. Just gorgeous out there today. Lots of sunshine. The farther inland you were, the warmer it was. 62 in Salisbury, 61 in Cambridge. It was colder at the beaches. A lot of the Delaware beaches only in the 40s with 53 in Ocean City. Here's our storyline. Well, we knew it wouldn't last. The return to winter weather. It's going to be brief Sunday into Monday with highs in the 40s Sunday and then only 30s as we go into Monday. Then Tuesday, I think we're primarily looking at showers, but it could start out as a wintry mix, maybe some freezing rain for the midshore and points north, but I think just plain rain farther east across Delaware and the rest of Maryland as temperatures warm to near 50 degrees. And just a slight chance of showers tomorrow as we see a cold front head our way. It's dry but cold on Monday, and then a much better chance of rain on Tuesday. Once again, maybe starting out as a little bit of mixed precipitation, and then spring-like showers Wednesday and Thursday as much warmer air builds in. And right now, a pretty big temperature contrast, 58 in Seaford, 50 in Georgetown, 47 in Millsboro, but you're only stuck in the low 40s from Rehoboth back through Bethany Beach. Keep in mind those water temps are only in the 30s and 40s. That wind coming off the water making it feel much colder as that wind is light right now, and we're looking at clear skies, but as you look to the east, you'll see some high clouds skirting the coast as we have low pressure off the North Carolina coast. That will move out to sea, but I'm watching this front that will bring the return to wintry temperatures tomorrow. That front making its way through the Ohio Valley with rain and snow across the Great Lakes, and then that much colder air briefly returning Monday and Tuesday. Futurecast tonight cooling us back into the 30s, and watch your step in the morning as we could be looking at some slick sidewalks as those temperatures are near freezing. Here come the clouds, and with that cold front, maybe a rain shower, but then breezy and much colder, falling temperatures from the 40s into the 30s in the afternoon. Some lower 40s, but much, much colder. And then into Sunday night, Monday morning, we're looking at 20s and 30s. A few clouds Monday morning and only into the mid-30s into the afternoon hours. Then here comes that warm front. We're looking at some rain showers, I think, Tuesday morning. Once again, at the onset, maybe a wintry mix for the eastern shore. But as that warm front lifts to the north, we're looking at those rain showers as we go into Tuesday. And then they continue on and off, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well as our flow turns out of the south and it really starts to warm up. Look at our 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, March 18th to the 14th, well above normal temperatures. And on Sunday, much colder from Lewis to Dewey Beach and Bethany Beach with a few showers, 46 in Ocean City, 50 in Chincoteague. 34 tonight, mostly clear and cold. And then Sunday, falling temperatures through the 40s, high around 47, feeling colder with the wind. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, only 35 Monday, 49 Tuesday. And then look how those temperatures step up through the 60s, beginning Wednesday, a few spring showers, and then by Saturday, 73 as the clocks go ahead, Emma. So a taste of spring as we go into next week.
I can't believe you just said a number in the 70s. Bob, thank you. And we still have some more news coming up. The Delmarva Job Fair, the companies and community that came out today. In Georgetown, today was the Delmarva Job Fair. Local businesses gathered together to meet job seekers and help simplify the job search process. Some of the companies in attendance were Delaware Technical Community College, Delaware Electric Co-op, the Milford School District, Christiana Care, and the City of Salisbury.
I think this is very helpful for us with the hiring process. There is actually truly quite a variety of folks here. Like I said, I've met retired folks, people who just moved to the area from other areas and are looking for jobs.
And we still have more news to get to here on Coast TV News at 6. Coming up, Cape Henlopen State Park closing, why they close every year for the spring and summer. A reminder that the point at Cape and Lopin State Park is closing tomorrow for the spring and summer season. It has closed every year since 1993 because of threatened and endangered beach nesting migratory shorebirds and other wildlife species. The Oceanside will reopen to the public September 1st, but Bayside won't reopen until October 1st because of shorebird migration. And it is almost March, and starting tomorrow, it's going to cost you more to get into Delaware state parks. At ocean parks like Cape and Lopin, the in-state daily fee is going from $5 to $10, while the out-of-state rate is doubling from $10 to $20 to get in. The fee hikes also apply to inland parks, annual passes, and senior lifetime passes. Denrick says this is the first increase in 10 years, and that park users help fund about 65% of operations and maintenance. However, not everyone is convinced that the state is making the right move.
Doubling is not fair. Could have been, if they raised it 10%, perfect. Doubling it is tough.
Denrick says the added revenue will help support maintenance, staffing, and other park operations as the state heads into the spring and summer season. And after the break here on Coast TV News at 11, as we take a beautiful live look outside into Ocean City, we'll have a final check on your forecast when Coast TV News continues in a few moments.
If you're headed out this evening, maybe headed to a restaurant or your favorite movie theater, we're looking at temperatures that would be falling through the 40s and then into the 30s with increasing clouds very late tonight. But temperatures getting near freezing in the morning. Watch for some slick sidewalks in the morning hours. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. It's sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Brief return to winter on the 10-day forecast. 35 the high on Monday, but then 49, a cold rain on Tuesday. And look how temperatures step up through the 60s beginning Wednesday, close to 70 Friday. I think we're in the 70s as we head into next weekend. Ooh, spring fever will be in the air as clocks go ahead 1 hour as daylight saving time begins Sunday morning, and we keep it mild Monday and Tuesday. Emma, is winter over? We'll have to see.
Bob, thank you for the good news there, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Be sure to join us tonight at 11. Until then, have a great night.